All right.
I can't check your audio, but I guess.
All right. Hello, everyone. We are waiting for the first Anchan to start for the PML. The PML. The PML. The PML Summer 2021 Finals. Our four competitors this time are Evil Taxi, Yukitora, Ashuna, and Konata. Also worth noting is due to some tardiness on the part of Evil Taxis, a minus 10k penalty will be awarded. So we will see how these finals will happen. It should be an interesting set. They'll be playing a total of 4 Anchans. The Uma is the Uma is 10 and 25. These games, like most PML League games, will be Akanash, no red 5s. 3, 2, 1, stato. So we have Taxi starting in the first dealer's position as east, Yukitora is south, Ashina west, Konata is north. Ashina with a quick call. From what I know of Evil Taxi's play, he's usually a fairly aggressive player. We'll see if that changes in this long 4-Han-Chan final set, where a lot of things happening. This hand is a little bit slow, and Ashina is clearly calling for a quick hand. 2 completed sets. And people around the table have to consider what Ashina is going for. Reveal the hands, because we can do that as a spectator. Dora 2 for the calls. That is indeed a hand that you would want to go fast for. Unfortunately, Evil Taxi's hand is still pretty far. Ashina calls into Toi Toi Tenpai. Toi Toi Chun Dora 2 Mangan Threat. Dora continues building the shapes. Ooh, unfortunate 5-1 drop deals into Mangan. Oh. Haneman with the west. That's a pretty high value hand to start the game, especially in Akanashi. Konata will have some rounds to catch up on. If Yukitora's hand is has some good shapes to start with. 3 Shun 10. Ashina's hand is relatively slow, but pairs up the 1 pin. Shapes around the table are fairly slow, mostly 2-3 Shun 10 hands as well. Konata tries to get the speed advantage with the East call. And it's good, completes on the shape, but Yukitori has to choose a shape to slim down. Decides to keep 2 pairs. Oh. I guess it's a pawn cat time with more pawn palaces happening. But what do people think this is? Dora drop. Let's see if that emboldens people to continue pushing their hands. It's still a fairly painful hit though, with Toi Toi and East, bringing it up to 340 fu, 5200, which is a lot for Akanash. Oh, unfortunate. Choose the 3 pin for the Ricci that deals in. Nashina with another Dora pair hand. Already, already, 2 Shantan. Very callable shapes for Tanya Dora too. Konata is contesting this with the first South call. We'll see if that manages to disarm this threat. But Konata's shapes are pretty far, and maybe considering going for the Chanta options with these outer shapes. Evil Taxi also has a lot of completed shapes. Ishan 10, but the Kanchan might be hard to complete. Yukitora's hand has a lot of development left to go, but also a Chanta shape. These are funny discards. It's not even close to some kind of Honitsu. No good draws for Ashuna yet, and the open hands are developing. 2 Pin is good. This is a race to see who's able to draw call to complete their shapes. Ashina still has not drawn a single useful tile yet. Yugitora willing to call 3 times, but still not Tenpai. But oh, the 5 so backfires. We still haven't seen a.
Yo, what is going on here?
It's a Chanta Fest, and Ashina with very unlucky draws. Starting the hand with a very callable Tanya Dora 2 shape, but doesn't draw anything, and Yukitora happens to also not drop anything that he can call.
I'm very surprised at what Konato's doing, having called 3 times and his still Ishantan.
It's happening on both sides too. It's like no one thinks there's any threat, but you don't see any Dora out on the board. Finally, a useful tile comes. Ashina does not take the Richi for a Dama Tanya Dora 2 dealer. 3-6, unfortunately, all being used up by Taxi across the board right now.
Jesus.
Meanwhile, Konata with the Tanki 9 so, mostly clashing with Yukitora though, only one of them left. Third row Richi, Karagiri on Formon. Konata's gotta be pretty scared. Both of these players completely exposed. No Dora showing. But Dora's actually safe here. Taxi disarms the Ipatsu. Oh no! Are we gonna see 9 so come out? That's a pretty good outcome for that.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised. I didn't think Bichan would be willing to call 3 times for 2,000 points, but it worked out in the end.
Yeah, he might have been trying to cover some ground back after dealing into a Hanemon in East 1. There was a Toy Toy Chun West Dora 2.
Yeah, so I just want to say going into this match, Bichan was my favorite to take it, but after seeing those calls, even though it worked out for him, I'm a little bit worried.
You don't think those were cool? You don't think those were good calls?
I think he was pushing a little bit too hard given his circumstances, which was like not that bad considering he still has 2 dealerships left. So I mean, it seems like he wants to play aggressive, which is good for tournament play, but I'm wondering if he might be pushing it a little bit too much.
Yeah, with the hand with a lot of like edge shapes, it's kind of tough because you're likely not going to finish that hand unless you do call.
Yeah, but at the same time, you're putting yourself at risk. You don't see any Dora.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think the risk reward is usually in your favor when your hand has no value and has a bad weight, but yeah, sometimes it does just work out like that. It's mahjong, so
It's true. Well, thankfully in that case it paid off. Draws a fourth pair, perhaps pivoting to Chitoi draw tuna, but
I'm interested to see how Ashina is going to play his hand if he draws. Well, 8 pin's not as good as anymore because of the 9 pin drops, but it would have been interesting if he prefers the strong weight or just keeps the Sanshaku.
Are we going to see an oikake? Or just sumos it immediately? Tanyo Sanshoku is quite good.
No. Collins just lost all of the points he gained last round.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. Still a close third though, at least. Switch to a Taxi's viewpoint now. South won already in the first Hanchan. But one completed shape and Dora. Yukitora with 2, 3 shot. Yeah, kind of average speed hands going around the table. Konada has probably the best hand.
Has the quickest hand, yeah, for sure. Yeah. And it has value as well. The 3-1 Dora, it's pretty huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like how he's going for the maximum cater as well. He's not holding on to like any floating honor tiles. Oh wait, no, he got the Yasuo there. I didn't particularly like that because I think it could have turned into Sanshoku.
Sanshoku?
Yeah.
So would you have just cemented the one pin pair?
I would have cut the one so personally. I didn't think that does too much for that hand.
Right, 1-2 force them.
But I think in these tournament situations, you want to like maximize the chance that you get like a game winning hand as much as possible. In this case, like Reach Sumo Senku Dora would be good, but if you have Sanshoku on top of that, then it's a Mane Mane is like back in contention for first place, right? I'm also surprised at Taxi's decision to cut the 6 pin there, foregoing the. Well, it's still Yishantan, but I think the other Tanya route looks a bit more natural.
Oops, I just realized I might have been echoing on my audio in my mic.
Oh, I think you're good on my end.
All right. We've got a Dama battle. Late Dora, that's hard to use.
I think the one pin cut's pretty natural. Just using the door if you can, then I feel like Bichon will be fine pushing the door if he has to for Tempai.
That is a dangerous Tempai. 2 5-stars just dropped. But there's only one left, so.
Tomatan here is also interesting. I guess dealer.
Dealer, 2 drops, you might catch a third. Oh no, that's not the one you want.
The safe pin looks like it's probably going to deal in, yeah. Unfortunately, Bichon has a call for that hand, so the difference between like 39 and 77 is pretty huge there. But
right.
He puts himself into second place, so it's well worth it. Beechin has a really interesting hand this round because he has the 2 Dora, but he doesn't really have the speed to match it. So it's kind of a difficult hand to pilot, but we'll see how he does it.
This is the kind of hand that I would probably consider just Atuzuke calling.
Oh, you would?
I think I would, just to give it a higher chance of completing.
That's interesting. Do you think people would be willing to cut the Dora in this game?
I guess it depends on how paranoid they're being. Oh, but Ashuna
Yeah, I
advances the
think in
hand.
these type of situations, for example, Ashuna has no reason to ever flirt with dropping. Oh, as I say that, he goes ahead and does drop the Dora.
Yep. Seems like my viewpoint is slightly ahead of yours.
Oh, okay. Maybe you can try stream.
Screen
Maybe I
sharing.
should watch the stream. Yeah, the screen
Yeah.
sharing.
Let me see. Wait. I don't know if that'll interfere with. Or I guess you can watch the stream as well.
I can watch through Twitch. Yeah.
As we're figuring that out, Taxi with kind of a cheeky 5-pin, 8-pin Champon, valueless, Richinomi. Into the Dora call.
Yeah, what do you think about that? That he doesn't really have much value, and
It's a little
um,
desperate, and I feel like there was room for improvement. You can easily draw that into like a Pinfu.
yeah, but it seems like it's enough to make Kanata at least think twice about
Right.
completing
It
his
looks
hand.
kind of Honitsu-ish, maybe. You know, you don't see any Pinzu in the discards, but I feel like with the confirmed Dora pair, Dora Anko, like you're full speed ahead either way. So you're
Regardless, he does
reaching.
drop the 2-pin. It's interesting how he's going to continue this hand.
Yeah, Konata does seem to be playing around this Ricci actually.
He decides against calling the 8, so he's in Shanten now, but will he push 7-pin?
Wow.
He does end up pushing it, and after like a really long bank. It's kind of interesting.
Perhaps fearing some kind of like Honey to direct deal in, or even just, some kind of Ura hit would be pretty fatal right here.
Yeah, I think Taxi kind of just called Kanata's bluff because after you pawn the Dora, especially in this like Aka Nashi formats, you don't really expect people to fight that. But if there's a Ricci on Taxi's side, then it kind of signals to Kanata that the Ricci is probably a bit scary. So yeah, kind of won the bluff battle, and
Yeah.
he gets Tenpai payments as a result, which is pretty good.
It was effective. Konata was unable to get to Tenpai, trying to play around the reach.
Yeah, exactly. If Taxi stayed Danma and Kanata went like straight at first with his hand, he probably would have won 8K. So
Wow, look at this hand from Yukitora though.
yeah, this
Is
is
this
a hand.
call everything? I mean, the south is already the door indicator. I'm gonna switch to Ashuna though, for dealer.
I think you definitely don't cheese 6-9, so but the other stuff you can call, yeah.
Right. Oh, but draws into a ramen, which kind of changes what you go for. But Ashuna again with the Dora pair, drawing very hot this Hanchan. A little bit hard to use, but it could be the Pinfu pair.
That's what it's looking like, yeah. And he also has 2-3-4 Solshoku chances.
Right.
It's really nice.
But depending on if he's able to complete the Kanchan, it might just be kind of reachy bad shape, but good value.
Yeah, I think as dealer, especially in these long formats, you definitely take this because if you win
Wow,
the 12K here, that's really big.
fills the Kanchan, and we have a very good hand forming.
Yeah, I'm
Yukitora
surprised he slimmed
calls.
down. Hmm. Yukitora did call the three, so she's not going for the value. Just wants this secure second place, I would assume, because
Right.
first place is so far away. I think
Pretty
that
far
makes sense.
lead. And I feel like the Tuso here from Ashino is kind of a defensive slim down. Already have a big lead. Don't want to try to bleed anything.
That's true.
I don't think Ashino is really committed to trying to complete a hand. Although, I mean, in a 400 format, if you continue to win hands, like I think that's pretty big. So
I agree. Yeah, if you can extend your lead, I think that's massive.
right, but it seems like he's going for the like Dama Pinfu Dora 2 sort of thing. Yukitora Tsumogiri for a while, but not actually Tenpai.
I think the 5-mon non bottleneck is really huge because you can't expect 5-mon to drop, and then
Ooh, Honitsu
she
pivot.
upgrades. I really like that actually because you can't
That's
expect the
actually,
last non to drop, and then it also gives you value.
yeah.
Um,
It's actually a threat that Ashino would have to think about.
it's not obvious that she's
Oh,
going for Hanitsu as well. So
there's the Pinfu though. Pinfu Dora 2 Tenpai.
with Sanshoku, so
That's
it did end up becoming
ridiculous.
Sanshoku. Yeah, 5-8 pin is a little loose, but it will definitely come out of Yukitora's hand.
See, with the. Oh, immediate. Okay. Oh no.
But I didn't think there's any way Beachin can drop this 8 pin.
Bichin doesn't really have anything safe into this Ricci.
He has
You
2
know,
soul for the dealer, which I would be my preferred. And then there's 2 3 souls out, so it makes it a little bit safer.
good fold.
Um, yeah, looks like that's what he goes with.
Taxi has a pretty good hand as well, especially. But the
2 pin is
Ipeiko's
a
kind of
1 chance from her
Ipeiko's kind of
perspective.
fake.
Hmm.
Like one of each left. No, there's actually no 7 pins left. So
One thing that's interesting is even if Yukitora doesn't complete her hand, if she takes 10-5 payments, then she'll be above Konata
oh,
going into all lost. But it looks like she gave up on her hand, and probably for the best.
well, that makes it a very close race for second place now. Tenpai payments becoming very critical to try to jockey for the position here.
I think bigger here is the fact that there's 3,600 in the pot, so whoever wins that is likely getting second place.
Right.
And then
Very
if
risky.
Ashiyuna takes the points, then it's really sad ends for everyone.
Right. I mean, Ashina has good shapes again, but kind of needs to get one last solid block. Yugitora immediately opens, just trying to get that juicy 3600 pot.
Yeah, I'd say with a 4K lead, usually you're feeling pretty safe in all lost.
Right.
Even calls the Ryanman for it.
Taxi has the value, but these shapes are not the best. Tiles all over the place. Kind of wants to be Chanta.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be
Konata
a miracle if Taxi completes his hand.
yeah. Looks like Konata's going for the Sanshoku on 79. Ishanten. Probably will have to call as well if the opportunity arises. just to try to match Yukitora's speed here. That pot is too important. Upgrades to a Ramen. What do you think of these 6 blocks here on Ashuna's side?
I think it's fine. I feel like he's in a position where he can kind of fold as well if he needs to. So
I feel like those 1-sos might come out. They just dropped, and he needs to
I
drop a
think
pair.
one pin's safer from his perspective. So the one so will drop if he wants to confirm 30 on con.
Well, now there's a confirmed save option, so. But
yeah, it
if
just
you're looking to
depends
slim
whether
down
he wants
blocks,
to.
then often like 1-1-3-5 so could just become 1-3-5 so for the 30 on con.
Yeah, exactly. I think
Oh
that's the
no,
only.
here it is. Yes, unfortunate, but also not particularly consequential in terms of placement.
Yeah,
So I think
that
Ashina
was
perhaps right.
probably, besides winning a hand, that was the best outcome he could have hoped for, I think. And he has a monster of a hand to finish off the Hanchan.
Look at, oh my gosh. Interconnected shapes, 2 Shantan though. But let's see if Konata can make anything happen on this deal around to try to take second or maybe even first. Probably not with this hand though. I think you're probably just looking to get a quick continuation here.
I think so. Renchan no Mi seems like the play.
Yeah, you don't got any value, but you have pretty quick shapes, so and the east will enable you to just go out fast.
Yeah.
It's a good
Something
draw.
Konata needs to think
10 pile.
about is not only his distance from second place, but also from Taxi, because Taxi is pretty close. If he wins this hand, like even just 1500, he'll at least be outside of 10 payments, so you can declare no 10 for third. Obviously, you don't want that, but it's just something to keep in mind.
Strangely, a lot of Ashuna's 3-6 mon outs are in people's hands, but Taxi might end up pushing the 6-mon here. Oh, maybe not. That makes it usable. Cool.
He's going to hold on to it for a little bit longer, but it is worrying.
Oh,
Konata
drops.
Yeah.
Which is thankfully
That's
not enough to sink into fourth, but
yeah, that's fine for him.
that's actually it's pretty good outcome for a deal. That could have easily
If
been
you're in
something
actually
of.
Yuna's position, would you reach that hand? It seems like a three-sided weight.
I think I would reach you in a
Yeah.
continued format. Like you have no very little risk of actually dropping placements, and if you reach Itsumu Pinfu Tanya Dora, or I guess not Tanya, but
Right, if you
still
flip
have
the
some good
euro, it's
chance for
for
value.
52. Yeah, it's hard to say, especially at the beginning, when you just want to maximize the amount of points you have. But at the same time, there is the chance that you randomly get chased into a dealer.
Right. I think I'm okay with the Dama there because you don't see Dora, and you don't want to deal in some random manga when people are going to be fighting.
Yeah, exactly. I respect the play for sure.
All right. Well, that's the end of game one. Ashina, with a lot of really good, fast, and valuable hands, manages to take an early lead. With the 1025 Umu bonus, Taxi will have some ground to cover, but we have 3 more Hanchons to play, so a lot of things can still happen.
Yeah, especially with the Uma being stacked the way it is. One first is definitely not enough to cement an outcome. Neither is a fourth.
Let me throw up flash up the results while we wait for the next round to continue. I think I have this formatted all right. Zoom a bit.
Yeah, so these scores are pretty rounded.
Looks like they immediately went into the second Hanchan. The 5-minute delay is 40 seconds into countdown, so should be starting shortly.
Nice. Looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks Otakul for the raid. Looks like his rating was 44.
Oh, thank you for the raid. Welcome,
Do you want to
everyone.
introduce what's going on here?
Sure. Welcome, everyone from Otoko Scream. This is a Pacific Mahjong League. This is actually one, I think it'll be the last online league we'll be doing before we
I think
transition
so,
back
yeah.
to in-person league games, as well as some collaborations with CRMA League. Before I get into that, let me swap back into the game. It's just starting now. But yeah, this is a four consecutive Hanchan finals, with 4 players that have the 4 top players over the last quarter of online league plays for PML, now fighting for a first or nothing position. So we'll see who comes out on top. This is a Akanashi format, so Ashuna once again with speed, but do you try to force some kind of chanta here? Or do you just
I
try to
think
go
the
out?
Dora Tonki is the value that he's looking for.
Not an IRL finals for this specific league. Yeah, this specific one was during COVID. We hosted some online league plays, and then at the end of each quarter, whoever if you played enough games there and you ended up on the top of that ladder board, then we would have the top 4 people face off in a finals match.
Yeah, this is specifically our online league, so we're having the finals online. We do have monthly tournaments that we play, and those are hosted IRL.
Right. Yeah. So we do monthly in-person tournaments as well.
Oh, by the way, you should open the hands for everyone, because we just miscast as fat Ipatsu. Oh, never mind, not so fat. Just 1k, 2k, but that's still a good start.
Yeah.
And it
Ipatsu.
disarms a lot of dangerous hands. Like Ashina's could have been huge if you drew a Thor pair.
Unfortunate, and definitely what Konato wants here. And yeah, I guess like Otaku mentioned, if you were following the Mahjong Soul Team Champions, 2 of these players, Ashuna and Evil Taxi, were in one of the finals teams, no more Urasan, which was also coincidentally my team. Unfortunately, we super bombed out in the finals. But
oh, what happened?
A lot of monster value hands and very little flow on Ashuna's side. He ended up like minus 20k in the finals game, trying to make a comeback. So
Sag. But
very sad.
today it looks like he has all the flow, starting off with Dora Dora and the good
Yeah, this is like the revenge match. Yeah, I think this is like the 4th or 5th hand that Ashuna has started with the Dora pair. But Konada's going fast again. And Taxi also has confirmed double easts, so that's kind of scary.
That is scary, yeah. Ashina decides to cut the 4-pin instead of so prioritizing safety and also locking in his shapes versus the potential to create Ryanman. Not sure how I feel about that.
Taxi completes another shape, chooses the perhaps more callable but difficult to complete double pair instead of the Conchon 7-9. I'm going to switch here.
Yeah, I think that's standard because you can draw around the 5-1 and the 7-1. The 8-man's not so good anymore. He already cut it, but
Tenpai. No more Sanchoku chance, but Tenpai with double east is good. Konada is chasing also Tenpai. 3-6 ping.
Do you think Taxi will con the 4th east if it comes out?
Absolutely.
Nice. I feel like that's actually the right play.
Especially since he's already open. There's no benefit. You get more food. You have a chance to improve your hands if you flip Dora. Thankfully, you can use 7. Oh no, but 4 comes out.
Oh, that's still points are points, and it goes over, right?
Yeah.
Oh no, it doesn't.
Not quite.
Sad.
If it was a con, it would have.
Yeah, you hate to see it.
Yeah. 4 pins, not 7 pin, but we take those. Get a repeat. Now this is a pretty good shape.
Yeah, I think currently we have the exact opposite placements of what we had in the first game. So, I mean, it's only East 2, but if it stays this way, it might be make for close finals.
Yeah, not quite reverse since Taxi was 4th, but close.
Oh, that's correct. Yeah.
But I do think Taxi has the best hand here, so... Well, at least the faster hand. Ashina's hand is once again gross.
I think Konato's hand also has potential as well. If he gets like a lucky 2-1 draw, that's
Yeah,
his
the
only real
Conjure's a little
bottleneck.
hard, but otherwise pretty good. Has a lot of like pairs to work around as well. But Ashina, well, I want this to be Churin, but it's probably fake.
Cheering's actually possible here. I'm just looking at like all the Sozo in other people's hands, and there aren't really many. So
You don't see any of the nines out, so as a
yeah,
commentator,
exactly.
I definitely want this to be Churin.
Oh, there's only one Forza left there, so they have to go on to that one.
That would be the deal in tile after Ashina draws back-to-back nines. So. Oh, is this the Chinitsu pivot? Yes.
Yeah, I think you have to go for it here. It's too much value.
Yukitara also pivots out of the Haku pair into Tanya.
That is interesting to me.
I'm not sure about that. I feel like I like the Haku there. Because now you have a 3-sided weight, and the one is kind of makes you sad.
And the 1-1's unusable, but it's unlikely you'll draw into it. And you don't have to cheat it there, so I think it's fine.
Ooh.
I just wonder what made her decide to call. Maybe she thought her hand was a little bit too slow.
Yeah.
I know
Probably
she
just
sensed like
wanted to
danger.
advance. But the Chinitsu or Honitsu threat on Ashina's side is pretty evident now, so people are going to be a little bit hesitant to throw any Sozu.
Really, I think it's still unclear whether he's going for like Chinitsu or he just dropped the Haku safe off from his hand. I could see it going like being a regular Ichi hand personally. Wait, Yukitori hits Tenpai and it takes the 3-sided weight.
It immediately drops. It was just there. Nice. The early cough paid off.
She managed to defuse a few relatively big hands, so it's a good 1000.
Well, that keeps it pretty close. This is some scrappy Akanash Mahjong.
Konata has, I think this is like his chance to take this on John, especially if he draws into the Dora. I didn't even know if I like the West pairs here. It might be worth like reading for Tanya, I'm not sure.
Might even become Sanshoku with the right tiles.
Oh, he does decide to agree for the Tanya. I really like this. I think this is his best chance to like clinch the Hanchan Ayame.
Yeah, I think especially with so many. Oh my gosh, that's 2 in the Sanshoku side, and plenty of pairs to spare.
Yeah, he has really good shapes.
Ooh, maybe that's like un-Sanshoku with the Forza.
Still, this is what you want to see from a hand. You can just
Yeah.
like read Sumakufu, Tanya Dora.
Sanshoku Ipeka? Forza is gonna get cut here. You definitely want the value. 468 Sugi Trap?
We'll see.
What do we got everywhere else on the board though? Taxi trying to force this Honitsu here with this rainbow honor array. I don't know if it's real though.
It's probably the best option he had considering his original starting hand. So I
Yeah.
dig it.
And it's in the Dora suit, so, a couple calls might still kind of scare people away. But Yukitora gets there first, completing the Dora ramen shape.
Oh, I'm a bit worried for Beachin now because the 5-8 pin is like very slim. It's hard.
You don't see any Dora out here, so this is a pretty scary board. Pushes the form on, immediately confirms that it was safe, just in case you weren't sure. But this is just... Oh, this is a tough one. We have this weird super pinfu double e-pick Oshi.
This might be better for Beachin if he can draw into a 6-pin or a 9-pin or 7-pin. He can avoid
Oh no, Taxi
the
cannot use
awkward
that?
5-8 pin weight.
Okay, Taxi avoids stealing the 6. I was half expecting Taxi to commit and just try to go in, but...
Nah, it's way too far. And he was already cutting safe tiles before, so I think he made the right play.
Yeah, I think the board's a little spooky. Ooh, this is... Well, you do know that 8 pin is safe to the Rishi at least, and you can still keep your Tanya Tenpai, Tanya Ipeko.
Yeah, you don't have to reach it this. You could stay
But
Tomo. This looks like what
if you
he
were
likes
willing
to
to
do.
drop 6 pin, you might have been able to accept Dora, but you don't really want to drop Shonpai next to Dora. Ooh, Yukitor gets it. Nice. +1 Uradora. Very respectable
Yeah,
step in.
that's the classic.
That's the dream. That's why you reach those.
And now with Yuki Tora in first place and Ashina currently in fourth place, I think she takes the lead.
Yes, that is correct. And with the very nice hand as well.
Yeah, I don't think you should think too much about positioning in like the initial stages of Hanchan, but it's interesting to see like the ebb and flow of how the like total standings change.
Right. In a 4 Hantron format like this, like what do are you just kind of like, all right, let me just play for the best value, the best hands up until what, like the third Hantron, the fourth Hantron?
I think so. People just say you want to play EV. It's like what a poker player would say. I think it's the same in Mahjong, where there's so much variance in the game that like the initial placements don't really mean too much personally in terms of your final outcome. So until the rounds like kind of get slimmer, that's just to just keep it EV.
That means like, you're not afraid to just go fast if that's kind of your higher win rate or completion. You're not always building for value sort of thing.
I think the opposite actually. I think usually you want to secure value in your hands because that gives you the highest chance of getting a big placement.
578 mon here? Yes.
Yeah, I'm wondering what. Yeah, I think so. There's the chance that you can flirt with the idea of like drawing the Forso here and gaining a bunch more value, but
Or just
with your lead right
epots.
now,
Or just epots. Easy.
yeah,
I think that, pretty safe reach. You saw 2 of the door out. Great weight. Yuki Tora with the flow.
especially as dealer, your weight's too good to not take that.
Right. Yeah. I think it's a little ambitious to try to. It's very tempting to try to complete that Tanya Ipeco upgrade, but it's just, you're fishing for a very specific tile there that you already have some of the odds for.
You already have a Sun Menchon, so
Yeah.
the chance that you draw the Forza before you draw into the Sun Menchon is really low.
Right. Shina with an early south call. Trying to just move things along, perhaps.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Very little value to speak of here.
I don't think he had much transfer value to begin with, so I think this is definitely the correct decision. But I
Mhm.
wonder how much he values getting rid of Yuki Tora's dealership as well,
Right. Well, Ashina
since they
seems to
are
be
kind of.
full speed ahead. No, not keeping any sort of safety tiles. Con for flow. There you go.
Khan seems a little bit ambitious to me, but I respect it.
Oh no! Drops the new door before seeing the indicator.
But yeah, I don't know about that one. Well,
7. Yeah, I mean with 77889. Hmm. It's like I guess we're just going to cement that as a single shape, but
yeah.
I feel like
So
that could have still been, two pairs in the
this
hand we've
has
already
the
called.
better shapes per se, but I don't know about completion. You have to
Yeah.
ask like a statistician for that.
Well, now it's a Ashina got the shapes he was looking for.
So in the other case, it would have been a 7-8, so Champon, which
Right.
is a bit worse than the RMN, but
Slides again to Nobiton 2-5 mon, but Taxi reaches Donkey Dora on the new Dora that was just dropped. This is spicy. I don't think
I dig
it's.
it. Oh, they're all dead. So Taxi doesn't know.
Yeah, I mean, there was a chance. There was a chance it might have came out since it was
Yeah.
just dropped, but I think that's definitely hard to complete with 7 so and the new Dora. It might have been better as a Dama here, since people wouldn't be looking that way yet.
Perhaps. I'm just glad he's taking his chances there. I think you have
Hmm.
to.
Well, it's. Ooh, 6 mon, tempting.
And then he drops it. That's a big direct hit for Ashino.
Yeah.
He gains placement and he chips a bit off his direct competitor. So
Another Dora pair start. How does he do it? Although the rest of these shapes aren't that great. How would you pilot
Yukitaro
this
has a
hand?
really quick hand too.
Yeah. The emotes are coming out. How could I lose
Yukitaro
the
was
Dora top?
thinking about cheating the 8 mon, but I think that would have been a little bit too frisky considering her position.
Yeah, I think playing too exposed while you're in the lead is uh, often will get you into trouble.
Yeah, and I think because Ashina's dealer right now, she doesn't mind if like Kanata or if Taxi Sumos, because it'll put Ashina lower and then it'll also just like ruin her direct competitor. But
Right.
she will take the hot zip on.
Yeah, if Yukitora, yeah. I mean, even a second, would still be good if
Oh,
Ashina takes fourth or even third.
I'm surprised she didn't pawn the 2-pin, since that would have gotten her into Yushanten.
Yeah.
Wonder what she's thinking there.
Hmm.
She does elect to take the 9
Takes the
mon.
9 mon, but gets rid of the Dora acceptance shape.
I'm like two minds about that. I think 1 4-pin is more likely to drop, but there's also two 1-pin out, so
Do you think
yeah,
this
now it's
is
looking like a really
trying
bad
to
move.
like suss out some kind of just like trying to avoid dealing into things near the Dora, or like expecting that people will be using more likely to use those shapes or use
I think
Taorama?
so. And also because Konata dropped 1-pin before and he dropped a Toitsu of it, you can kind of expect him to A, like not have a 1-pin in his hand, and B, if he draws it, then he'll cut it.
Right.
So you kind of get two draws for the 1 4-pin shape.
Actually, can use that 4 pin. So Yukitora's options are starting to slim out quite considerably, but
There's still
there's still two.
Yep. Hey, this looks really bad for Yukitora,
Now
actually.
you're short stacked. You tried to push it. Oh, but gets it. It paid off, but that's a very scary situation to be in. All the door was still alive. We got South 2 in game 2 of 4.
Oh, Taxi has a really nice hand, Ishanten already. I think in his position, he has the luxury to even like pivot around the one so and try to generate more value.
Decides to get rid of 8 Mon. I think I would be tempted to just try to greed for Tanya there, especially after drawing 7 so.
I think so as well. I think the 8-1 is actually better than 7
Amon was a
so.
great, yeah, except Dora, you could get a 3-sided weight, whereas, the extra 1 so pair isn't doing you much here.
It's worse now because I mean you still have 2 9-1, so that would be like the only caveat. But as far as like creating a Tanya opportunity goes, yeah, it's a good talent to have. Better than the 7 so for sure, I think. Yeah, it would have been really useful now with like the 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 mana shape.
You could even just call into the Tempai.
Seems like it's just going for the quickest sound, which is also fine.
Efficiency simulator, the quickest Tempai.
He has the Sun Onko chance here as well, which makes up for the lack of value.
Ooh, 8 so. Everyone's hand is advancing at a pretty good pace here.
I think Bichan's
Yukitora
hand is the scariest for sure.
Considering the reach here on Tumon, I don't really like it. Yeah. Ashiuna likes it though.
Oh wait, isn't Haku really dangerous for Bichan here?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate because Taxi drops Yukitora's winning tile, but because Yukitora didn't reach. Oh no, this is a really that's like worse. That must have been a sinking feeling, right? Because you could have disarmed.
What do we call that? It's like a comedy of errors, I think. Something like that.
But you can't. I mean, you can't really reach that like Richinomi. Would you reach on Richinomi on Con Tumon?
I think it's possible. Yeah, I'm not too sure.
I think that's tough. I don't fault.
It's a tough decision for sure.
I don't fault that. And Haku was just a great weight from Ashina there.
Yeah.
And that it puts Ashina right back into a very solid second place. It seems like we have two strata here with first and second and third, fourth overall.
Yeah. It's looking like Ashina or Yukitori's tournament.
This final really is first or nothing. There's no kind of consolation prize, and I mean, there's no prizes where people are playing for glory. So I think after these placements are settled a little bit more solidly, you might see people trying to play a little bigger to try to make up the difference.
Ashina's hand is pretty disgusting. Could definitely get first with it.
Yeah. Taxi with the quick Tenpai, though. Trying to disarm the dealership of the person below you. What do you think about this one?
I think it's fine, mostly because he didn't really have a shot of value. And it is Bichan's dealership, so.
Yeah. So perhaps a bit of targeting, but reduces the time, or you now only have one hand left if you actually want to try to get the next place, but that dealman actually puts it within Mongon range, so
Yep.
It's a pretty good play.
He does have Mongon potential, but it'll be a late hand. So if Yukitora decides to clinch it.
This format is Agaria Minash, so if you are the last dealer and you must not win, or someone else must win the hand for the round to end. If you win, then the round continues.
Yep, that's correct.
But I don't think the scores are quite far enough for you to just sort of hard fold and turtle out. So
I
Vitor
think
probably
Ashiyuna's in manga and sumo range. That would be the likely threshold that you want to be above. So if Yukitora wins one more hand, she's feeling pretty safe. Right
right.
now, it's just if her hand was worse, I think she might commit to fold and just create that Ashiyuna doesn't sumo the manga.
Right. But I feel like
But
this is
since
the
she
kind of
has,
uncomfortable position where you kind of pushing, and but a direct deal in is still pretty bad for you here.
that's true.
The door series is starting to get hot in the second row. But taxi with the speed.
Let's see.
Chitang Pin.
Yeah, I think sumo and Ura would be enough to put him ahead of Ashiyuna. So that's probably what I was aiming for.
That's I wonder if we'll see a pass if someone else deals in. You kind of
It's
only really want sumo or direct hit off of Ash here, right?
it's still only the second Hanshan, so I don't think he'll be that
Here's the
desperate yet.
point. Takes it. Okay, I respect
Yeah,
that. Secures the position.
I think so.
Does
There's
get the
also Ura
aura,
chances.
but unfortunately,
I don't believe that's enough.
oh, it
That's
is.
8,000. Oh,
I thought it
nice.
was. I must have missed something that I thought
Yeah,
that was on there.
so the direct deal in Heat Cell 3 actually made a very big difference because it put him into Mongon range
Right.
from anyone.
Yeah, I thought it was 8K, but I must have missed a digit there. So the Ura makes it enough to take second place.
Yeah, maths is hard.
Evil Taxi doing the math, and I am clearly not.
I think the biggest thing is that Ashina's Uma went down from plus 10 to minus 10, which is kind of like a quirk of the PML scoring system that you lose more for going from second to third than you do like going from first to second.
Right, because it's 10-25, so the second third swing is bigger than the other placements.
Yeah.
20K difference instead of 15K.
If you think about like 5K is not small. Like the 3900 is reached in Titania, and you're usually like pretty happy with that, right? So
Right.
it's kind of hefty chunk of change. And then Ashina just lost 20,000 points
Yeah,
for
that
really
was
doing
worth
nothing.
that was like worth a Paimon. Paimon
Yeah,
plus.
by Monsumo. So
Flashing up the new scores now.
yeah, Yukitora is in the lead, but
I know
it's a very
earlier there
slim
was
lead right now.
there was a tardiness penalty awarded to given to Taxi, but I'm not sure if that's reflected in these standings yet. So I need to double check that.
Yeah, I don't believe they're reflected in the standings. So Taxi is actually negative 423 right now.
It's certainly the good direction that you want to enter the last two games, and it keeps everyone in range. And definitely dropping the first place player, the first Anchan, is an ideal situation for everyone.
Yeah, definitely. Beechen has a little bit rough. So does Taxi, but with two games left, if either of them get a first place, they'll be in
Yeah, like
contention.
minus 60 is absolutely. I mean, that's still a one game spread. It's very. I feel like it's very hard to play in this situation if after the first two games you were third or fourth, or you took a lot of bad hits and now you're minus 100.
Yeah, definitely.
If you're in a position where you must now only get firsts, or you need to get some kind of mega first, I think that's very tough.
What do you think personally are the plays that like Kinyan win this Hanchan in particular?
Mm, I think possibly a little bit over defensive in trying to protect that lead. But I don't really fault not reaching that the Richinomi hand. But I think we saw a lot of kind of early avoidance, trying to swerve around what you saw other people discarding. Yeah, at the cost of efficiency. That ended up costing
Right.
hands.
Yeah, I think the 4-pin pawn for the Tanyanomi, we kind of doubted it a little bit, but securing the 1,000 points there and just like advancing the game,
Right.
I think that helps him in her position. So well earned first, I think.
Well, going into the new game, we already see Ashiuna calling double east into Tempa. First row.
Oh, the stream's on still on the finals page, so you have to switch over.
Pardon me. On fights back with the reach.
Ricci, yeah, I like it. 5-pin.
Well, it was a good reach, but Ash's flow continues. We have a Saki character battle going on here. This is 3-shon, but kind of crappy shapes.
I think Ashina's hand is decent. Like he can draw into the Yakuhai for speed, and then he also has a few floating tiles he can work around.
So do you try to keep east and Hatsu for as long as you can here, just for a chance of acceleration?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. I don't.
Oh,
I'm not too sure what the right play is, but I generally prefer keeping like the floating tiles.
the witch tiles?
These like number tiles. So like
Hmm.
the if he didn't draw the Hatsu pair, I would have kept the 8. So
Hmm.
um,
Well,
it looks like he locked in his shapes.
now it's a calling hand. But perhaps has to be wary of value on the board. Yukitor with a very good 5-so draw.
Yeah, but actually, also with the very good Hatsu Anko draw means he doesn't really have anything to worry about.
Yeah, suddenly this is Ricci +1 dealers. Pretty scary.
Yeah. I think his weight is also good. 7-1 looks decent on the board, and then there's also the non-snipe. So
Keeps
he
the
does
ground
lock in
con.
that shape.
Would you call to open here though, or try to Ricci?
I would personally look for the value. I'm not. I wouldn't be happy with just getting a 1500 with this hand.
Yeah.
I think if the lost non drops, for example, then you probably have to take it because your weight is just too bad otherwise. But like a 5-pin, I would be okay with passing.
Ormon drop potentially creates a secret shop here. Yukitora also committing to dropping the Dora for the better ramen shapes. Extra
It looks
pair?
like Ashina is planning to call or look for Sanako.
Konada across the board fishing for... Ooh, the Sanako chance. Damas. I think this feels like a chase to me.
It's interesting because 2-pin Suji to the 5-pin might incentivize people to drop it.
Nakasuji?
Oh, for
Oh!
Yukitori's Ricci, right?
Yeah.
Oh, and the 7-1 does drop.
It's 150 instead of...
So you're thinking about what could have been.
Right. You know, Ricci, Ipats, well, you don't think about Ipats, but at least the Ricci, if you're committed to that, and, you know, really big Ifitsumo, I think Ashina perhaps regretting that conservative play a little bit. But, yeah, I think it's still a direct hit on the person you want to target, the overall first place player.
I agree. I don't want to harp too much on it, but I think something interesting is when there's two reaches on the board, right? If you're in Konata or taxi issues and you just want to drop safe tiles, if you have like a floating non, for instance, that's one cut that becomes kind of like a crutch because you won't have safe tiles for both Ashina and Yukitoro. So that might become your safest tile, and then that would have been an easy run for Ashina.
Right.
So that's like one of the merits of calling Ricci, I think.
Like people will try to pivot and try to swerve around the Richis and deal those tiles.
Yeah, exactly. Like if they're just defending against Yukitoro, then it's a lot easier to defend. But against two Richis, you kind of have to rely on those like one cut Yakuhai tiles, for example.
Right. Ooh, good Konchan completion on Yukitoro.
No, but I didn't know she wants to Ricci on the one, so Tonki seems.
Probably looking for some kind of upgrade here. Nobaton.
Yeah.
Oh, that'll do it too. Yep. 2-5 pain.
Yeah, definitely take those. Better
Do you
weight and
think
it adds some value.
do you think Onso Tonki is too cheeky here?
I don't hate it normally, but yeah, I think you want a little bit more value.
Right. Value and probably just, you know, more actual tiles to accept. Well,
Right,
thankfully it
better
wasn't
weight.
Onso Tonki. It'd be dead now.
Yeah, definitely.
I do think it works every now and then, especially if the Ricci is early, because, you know, people don't have information. They just have to
Right.
drop terminals. But I don't think it's as strong if you don't have much other value.
I think if she had two Dora, it might have been worth considering.
Mm-hmm.
But with one Dora, bad weight, as good as like the run rate might be in theory, it's probably better to play
You
safe.
go for the Tsumo. Yep. And flips Ura, looks like.
Is it a multiple era? That's what I want to
Just
see.
the one for Tsumo
Oh,
Pingfu Ura. Well done.
she would have had to be really lucky to get the Hanuman there, I guess. But still puts her in first place.
Yeah, really good hit. Oyakaburi puts Ash back down a bit.
That's unfortunate for Ashina because he also had a really good hand there. So
Mm-hmm.
it just stings twice as much.
I feel like a lot of the action we've seen is just a lot between Ashina and Yukitora. Evil Taxi and Kanana perhaps having to play a little bit slower now to build better hands and shapes.
Yeah, it's interesting. I don't really like Hanato dropping the chin there. I feel like he needs value if he wants to get first.
Even with one of them out?
It's it's like a 30% chance to draw the chin in 11 turns when there's one cut.
Hmm.
After two cut, then yeah, you definitely cut it. But I think you have to play for those odds here.
Right. Especially in Akanash, I feel like.
Yeah, exactly. Like, how is he going to generate value in his hand now? Are you going to sumo and pray for Uradora?
Ura
Like,
or like some kind of Condora is really your only shot here. But
yeah,
I don't know. I mean, I
exactly.
think it's early enough that you don't really need to fish for max value, perhaps.
Right. At the same time, I like the idea of just keeping your outs alive for value.
Right. Because like if you do draw into that last Doro, like bam.
Yeah, that could be the game-winning Dora draw, right? So,
4 pairs, but cuts the 7 pin pair. But now
Shina's
you gotta
Tenpai takes the Uchi. Nice.
Yukitora also Tenpai. Doesn't take the reach. We have a battle. 1-4 is a great shape, but Ash has the value here. Or oh, read shot.
On, alright. E-pots, nice. And he
Flips
flips
the
3
root, flips
Dora,
3 door.
alright.
Hey, we were talking about
Okay,
building value.
yeah. I guess that's how you get value.
All right, all
Just
right, all right.
random Hanuman out of nowhere.
Well, that's one way to do it. Didn't take the Dora Tonki shot, but took.
Yeah, I dig it. Now he has 2 Dora in his hand to start off with. So
As
this
they
is really B-Chan's chance to recover.
as they say, con for flow. It starts with one hand. This feels like a hand you just want to call to completion now.
I think so. Getting the 5800 here creates like a pretty big buffer in terms of first place. It's still E3 though, so you would really like the Mongon if you can help it. For example, like I don't know if I would pawn 3 pin or 8 pin here, but looks like Kanasa's just taking the 5800. He even calls a Rhiannon for it.
Yeah, that's kind of an interesting choice. Just wants to go for max speed.
I think so.
Decision point here. Keeping callable shapes.
Oh, this is interesting.
Ash drops Dora, immediately pawns. And things got a lot scarier now.
Yep. I mean, Ashiana does also have kind of a monster hand if he can get to completion.
Oh, that's a good draw. Now that's Mongon territory. That's a fighting hand. And Konada's also thinking, considering that threat. Ooh.
If
avoids accelerating Ashina's hand with a 2-pin.
but that also makes his hand slower. One thing that's cool is if he takes the Shabu here, Taxi might just deal him with the 8-pin. But that's interesting.
I don't know if I like that one, because now you have awkward 1-pin.
Yeah,
I really like the
like
Shabo here, since you already dropped 9 and 7. Oh no, there it is. Furitan.
Yeah, that's what he was trying to avoid.
But does Ash know that?
No,
Oh
she
no.
has.
And now if Konada tries to get out of Furitan, that's gonna deal in. Oh, 8. That could have been double run.
It's true.
Unfortunate for Konata. Yeah, I don't really like that fake ramen.
Yeah, I'm not sure what he was thinking there.
But this is a Sanshoku look. Or just
Yeah,
very good shape. Reach Pinfu Dora 1.
I think so.
Switching
You
over
want
to D.
Sanshoku for sure, but you'll take Tenpai if it comes.
Right.
Ashina sounds kind of disgusting if he gets close to
Yet
completion
again,
there.
this is another, ready-made Honitsu. Dora 2.
Yeah, I
But I don't
was
know.
thinking, he could have even called the 2-pin, right? And just committed to it at
Right.
first. Oh.
I guess maybe like the mixed wind's a little bit too slow to work around.
Yeah. And it looks like Kanata does get that Sanshoku chance we're talking about.
Yeah,
So
this is game changing.
3-so and 6-so is a really big difference. Going from like Reach Pin Fedora to Reach Pin Fedora to Sanshoku. It's a guaranteed Hanemon on Tsumo, so
Taxi's
Taxi
fighting
has
this.
to,
Just drops the 3-mon.
Hey, with Taxi's points, I think he kind of has to. He has to maximize his first place rate at
Right.
all costs.
And double
And
ace is
keeping that
good.
dealership.
Con. No?
Honestly, I wouldn't be like too mad about Con there.
It's drastic, but I feel like you kind of have to add that into the mix here if you're behind.
Yeah, I mean, we saw
Ooh.
what the Con did for Contas. So, oh my god, Gashina hits
Oh, Chini
Tenpai.
to Dora to Tenpai?
Yeah.
Yukitora immediately draws it but avoids it. 8 so's not looking great. 3 so.
There's one 8-pin
Oh
left.
no!
I think that was a bit too much.
You had the option for the save 5 so here. Maybe wanting to keep the Genbutsu weight.
I think he was tunneled in on the Genbutsu 8. You also had the option to cut 6 Mon if you really wanted to.
Yeah, that's true. 6 mon was very safe.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate. That may spell the end for Evil Taxi. But
Yeah.
we will
You
see.
never say never. He has 3 dealerships left.
It's true.
Yeah. 1 in this game and then 2 in the next 2. So we'll see what he can do there.
I'm hoping for the Yakuman comeback. I want to see the hype plays.
That'd be hype.
Yeah. Like Konata's Rinshan, that was pretty good.
You want to see something to one up that?
Yes.
Oh,
I'm
Kanata
waiting
has really
for
good shapes now.
Ashuna to get some kind of in character hand and get like Haite Sumo. But we'll see. Another double East dealer. Oh, not double East, but
No.
East pair dealer hand.
Right.
But it's not real in this case.
Yeah, Taxi's holding on to the other 2. And it doesn't look like it's going to drop them.
Huh. But Ash goes for the Tanya with the double Dora.
Yeah, he wants to confirm the double door usage. I think this is right. And then Konata's Tenpai for the Kanchan on the 7 so.
Right.
Oh, sorry, he needs the 5 mon to be Tenpai, but
Okay. Keeps the Ryankan. Yukitora keeps drawing Sozu. Take me a second to decide. 7 so Tenpai not good enough.
that 5 so means that Konata can cheat.
Tenpai.
Yeah, takes the Tenpai there.
8 mon just dropped. So we'll see if the last one comes out. Ooh. Actually
Her
draws the
weight's
7 so.
very 10.
Yeah. Draws the 7 so anyway.
Yeah. If she
That's
gets Itsu, it's be really big though.
It's true. It's scary. And people don't know that it's free 10.
Oh man, if Konata drops 8 mon here, he has he had a meme weight.
Konata's folding.
Yeah.
There's 4 so, but free 10.
That is unfortunate, but Yukitara's weight's still like super wide, so
And Taxi manages to get into the Suji trap reach. Ooh. What do you do here? That's a safe tile now.
Ashiyuna's probably fine just supporting his hand. It's hard to find into two reaches. It drops 8 so though, which is kind of aggressive.
Maybe trusting the 5 so Suji. That was cheat earlier.
Yeah, I think the 5 so Sushi and then the early 7 so from Taxi.
Mash does have the value and sees a lot of them out, so.
He does see 3 Dora, and if he makes it into Senpai, the Renchon will be worth it.
Confirmed safe, Forso. Except maybe not to Konata. And I think the dreams are shattered for Yukitora here.
Yeah, so it's just to see if Ashina can get into Senpai, it looks like he won't be able to.
Wide weight, but unfortunately does not get it. Over, we got South 2 here.
Yep. Ashina has the chance for a big hand. I just wonder what he's going to prioritize. If he wants to call for the speed and just to like get rid of Yukitora's dealership, or he wants a chance at first place.
I feel like in these tournament standing positions, directly targeting just staying above your immediate rival is probably more effective. Like I guess Konata scoring a first puts them back in, but you're a little bit less concerned about them over just staying ahead in position for Yukitora.
I agree, but also the extra value gives you like a wider safety net against your opponents, right? So um, it really just depends what their balance is, how they're looking to play the hand.
Right.
Kitora's just going for a quick wrench on here. I feel like her hand had enough potential that she could have maybe stayed Benzen, but it looks like her decision making is usually around like just securing quick hands and wrench-ons.
Getting the faster tempo.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I kind of agree that the shapes here had so much potential.
Right, like if she gets Ipeko and Tanya Menzen, then it's way better
Right.
than just like 1500.
Or even drawing like a 7 so, and you can, Dama for some kind of Sanchoku threat.
Yeah. Oh, there are 3 retrieve sticks on the board now, though, so she'll have that
Yeah,
for value at
going
least.
fast makes sense.
And Kanata has. Is he going to chase here?
Yep.
Okay, so he saw 360 and then Twyman has 2.
I think this is just a opportunistic chase.
I think so. There's
You're
too
you're
many.
overall fourth, and you really need to make big plays.
There's too many sticks in the pot as well. But if this goes sour and Kanata loses first place because of that, that'd be kind of tragic.
Right. It does not, in fact, go sour.
Nice. That's what I like to see. Yeah. And that 4000 is really a manga because of the 4 sticks.
Yeah, huge. Very sad for Evil Taxi, though. There's no busting, though, so.
Ooh, Kanata has a really nice hand. Needs the potential for the manga, and if he draws a ton of Yakuhai, you can also just play around the Dora.
How early would you get rid of 6-mon here? It's not really Chanta yet.
I wouldn't think too hard about Chanta. My eyes would be more on the Honitsu. I'd be like, okay, sacrificing the Dora for that. But if you get like a Tuso Chi, for instance, yeah, I think you can go for Chanta.
Right. When you're this far ahead as the point leader, I mean, you have all the time in the world to keep building big hands if you want to, but I guess as the dealer, you can also just keep repeating.
Yeah, it's interesting the balance between like building a big hand as dealer because they're worth more flat points, obviously. Like the bump from 3900 to 8k isn't as much as 5800 to 12k.
Oh, that's a honey to commit.
Yeah, I like it. If he's going to be winning the tournament, I think he wants to milk as much out of his dealership as possible, and that means stuff like Honitsu, potential Itsu.
Right. Shooting for the biggest.
Right. Like this is 12k potential, so settling for just a mere 2900 doesn't seem like it'll be enough.
Right. Not particularly impactful when you already have this big of a buffer. So what do you do if you're in taxi situation here? Mega down and also not great in turning position.
You just have to play for your dealerships, I think. Yeah, there's not really much else you can do.
Like there's kind of a tough decision point of like, do you just, build whatever and continue just playing normal mahjong and try to triage and bleed a little bit less? Or do you really just try to go for Hail Mary plays now?
Right. It's a hard question.
Oh, very close to Tempai. Taxi also going for Onitsu, but Taxi has the Dora suit.
I think in this case, like,
It's a
and the
Tempai
Forso
call.
drops, so he can call to Tempai. And he does. So
Confirmed
that's Itsu
Itsu.
Honitsu with the Dora, it's 8k. That's exactly what you want.
Yeah. Draws it immediately. Just in time, because Kanata also just got into Tempai.
That's perfect. That's exactly what you want to do in Taxi's position.
That was a pretty far shot. The hand was not. It didn't start particularly close, but
yeah, he's being opportunistic with his points, and he understands. So his goal right now should be to place above Ashina and Yukitoro. He shouldn't worry about Beachin right now, but if he does that, he has a shot going to the last Tanchan.
right. Yukitoro getting fourth here would be huge for the table.
Yeah, exactly. Ashina looks like his content just settling for second, which I think is very fair.
Yeah. Just gonna play quick. Happy to stay above Yukitoro here.
Yeah. His hand is quick enough that he can also play kind of loose too.
There goes the Dora. Thankfully, no one has the pair, so that's ideal. Taxi also accelerating, not wanting to give Ashina the chance to cut it off.
Unfortunately for Taxi, he doesn't really have too many good. He needs to create another Tanya block, and he doesn't have very good footing tiles.
Mm-hmm. Unfortunate with the 8 pin.
Yeah, I think 1-1 would have been the better cut there. Just try to maximize your Tanya outs as much as possible.
Right. Yukitoro Cross has 4 pairs. Kind of has to make a decision here. Oh, maybe that makes the decision.
She still has good outs for a regular men's in hand, so like 3-mon, 1-mon would be normal here, I think.
Yep.
Or 1-mon if you want to keep the Sanshoku odds.
Riso's kind of interesting there. You had 2-3 ramen from Konata.
Yeah, I'm not too sure what Kanata's idea of how to play this hand is.
Is this just a defensive play? Or maybe shooting for some kind of moonshot?
There's like a lot to think about in Kanata's position, actually. Like, you see Ashina opening up, and he also dropped Doro, so that means his hand is likely cheap, right? So one thing you can do is like try to prevent Taxi from advancing his hand.
And just like intentionally dealing in.
Yeah, intentionally dealing into Ashina, which actually the Tusos might have been defensive against Ashina. I'm not sure. But regardless, Taxi makes Senpai, so.
Another Anko. Ooh, Suji trap?
He does take the reach, and there's the pawn. Again,
there's not much value threat, so.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's why he thinks it's fine taking the reach here. because Taxi clearly only has like Tanya on Demi, right? And then Ashina dropped the door as well, so it's unlikely he has value.
Oh no, you
And,
had all the weights.
and the 3 pin does drop. So I think that was a heads up play from Kanata, just taking the Uchi there.
Yeah.
Because even if he does deal in, it's not too much.
Made the
And
3-pin very, very tempting to drop.
yeah, exactly. Considering it's safe, it looks safe to everyone on the board.
Yeah. Well, that's a pretty key victory for Kanata. Flash up the scores.
Yeah, unfortunately for Jeff, it looks like lights out for him unless he can get some Yakumans going. But we have a pretty close race for first place.
Yeah, and you know, a mega first is not off the table completely. If you get some
It's
kind of
true.
80k, dealer rampage thing,
Yeah.
it's
So there's a 50k swing from first to fourth in terms of Uma, and his gap right now is it's like 12k, right? So
yeah.
1200, yeah.
So you would need some very big position reversals plus a mega first. It's pretty tough.
Yeah. He needs a 70,000 difference between him and Ashina to even think about getting first right now. That's not factoring in the difference he needs between Kinyan and Bichan yet.
Is it Yakuman fishing time for Evil Taxi?
I think he can play his dealerships out normally. Maybe try to keep the streak going as long as possible, so aiming for like quick wrench on. But for the other rounds, it might be. I don't think normal hands are going to cut it.
Right. I think with Beachin winning burst there, suddenly Oliver has another contender. You can't just coast and stay only above Kinyan.
Yeah, if Kenyon places above Ashina in this Hanshan, then Kenyon will likely win. And if Bichan places above the two of them with a large enough first place, then he'll likely win. So it's definitely going
Yeah.
to be really close going into the finals.
So that should make for an exciting match. We have 3 people that are going to be fighting position, and one perhaps wild card that's going to be adding a lot of variance to play.
Yeah, and so like you don't want to think about taxi in these positions, but if you do deal into a Yakuman, they, you know,
Yeah.
if like all of his discard piles look like Kokushi, and then suddenly you draw the Monsters, you start doubting yourself. You're like,
Right. You can only disrespect it for so
yeah,
long until you just walk into one.
it's like, is this Monster really worth dropping? And that can affect your hand building. So even though he's probably out of contention, he's definitely still in the game per se.
Right. Next game is starting in 15 seconds. Switch it back. It'd be interesting to see how aggressively Oliver and Kenyon take this. But I think the first half of this Hanshan would be pretty pivotal. Oh, 5 pairs off the bat? No. Chitoy rejected. Pays off with the door draw. Tempai. Let me reveal the
Tempai
other
on the
hands
con
here.
5 pin.
Likely Tsumo only. But we'll see what people draw.
Yeah, he also has a lot of chances to upgrade his
Oh,
shape with a
I
few
just want to
draws.
comment that Taxi changed his character
Interesting.
to
We'll see
match.
if
Oh
that
no!
makes the
Teru, no!
difference.
Unfortunately, has to drop the Dora to get the Tenpai.
Unfortunately for Bichan, that's 5800. And that is going to go a long way into getting him to first place if he does win this tournament.
Taxi immediately is probably looking at that Chinitsu. But Konato with a beautiful Dora to start. But a little bit far away. Ash across the table has some penchants he's got to work with. Well, that's a scary call. The hand is pretty far, but nobody knows that.
Yeah, I think taking the initiative with historical is really big. And if Ashino or Yukitora deals in, then they're in a really bad spot. So
Yeah. How
meanwhile,
hard do you
Taxi's
try to
just playing
avoid this?
Mahjong.
Yeah.
Okay, so one of the interesting things about these kind of positions is that Taxi is kind of like Konosa's friend right now, because if you just pull out Yolas for his hand, it increases the amount of draws that Konoto gets, assuming Konoto hits Senpai, right?
Right. I feel like that's kind of incentive for anyone to try to just get the fastest Tenpai, knowing that you have one player that's a little bit that has to play a little riskier.
Yeah, exactly. One player that will likely push more than you would usually push, just because they need points. It's an interesting dynamic to think about in these kind of long tournaments.
Yeah.
The Yukitora gets Senpai, then this is exactly what I mean. Since Yukitora is Senpai, she basically has two draws.
Right.
Taxi's gonna drop everything, and then Konata is also gonna drop everything, so effectively three draws.
Doesn't seem like Ash's hand has a chance here.
So Konata gets C Shanten.
There's the Chinitsu Tenpai though. Very nice disarm.
Yeah, got rid of two big hands. And that also temporarily puts her above Ashina, so I think Yukitora is actually in the lead right now.
Yeah. That was well done. All right. This is Taxi's moment to shine. What is the balance? Gotta find the balance between continuations and value here.
Yep. You could, in theory, win 1,000,000 point hands, but that's not very practical.
Right. I'm not sure
So you
about
want
that
to.
Dora drop. When you had 4 pairs, that could potentially become, the Chitoi Dora 2 dream, but.
That's true, yeah, or it could have been Chanta as well, as we're seeing. But.
The speed.
Looks like it's just gonna get disarmed by Ashina,
Yeah.
sadly.
Oh no. And on the Ipatsu.
Yeah, that is rough. I didn't even fault him for passing the 8-1.
Yeah, that's. That's just unfortunate. You had a great looking hand, and you just had to push it.
Yep.
That's one dealership down for Taxi. That's probably curtains, but anything can happen. So I'm rooting for them. I think it's so hard in this position if you're playing any tournament or long format to just kind of stay in the game.
Also, Konata's Tenpai, what the fuck? Okay.
Well,
it's also on Ashina's dealership, so if he smells the door here, puts Yukitora in second place, that's exactly the placements that Kanata wants. Because he can't really hope for a Taxi to get placement. He wants himself first, and then Yukitora second, and then Ashina third.
No information, and this weight is premium with 1/4 Formon.
One loves the Dora, so Yukitora does drop it.
Yukitora drops it, trying
Despite
to
it being the
fight it.
Dora. It's so interesting because you want Yukitora to be ahead of Ashina for the era, but you also need to cement your first place. So it's hard to say what the right call is. But if I was in Kanato's position though right now, I'm looking to target Ashina.
Right,
over.
but I think I agree with that. Like, I mean, secure the lead first, right? Your first condition here is get first place, and then your second condition is trying to do that.
Especially because Yukitora pushed the Dora, you're gonna assume she has like a real hand, right? So you can't really go. You can't afford fishing for Itsuno there.
Yeah, that's a little bit too ambitious. Konata continuing to take the initiative.
Yeah, looking for Chanta here, it seems like.
Yeah, I like that call. It's probably the only way this is going to complete, and it uses the Dora, so.
Yep, I agree. Could be Sanshoku as well.
Rainbow Dragons.
The order which she drops these is actually kind of important because Ashina has the double
right.
2 of the chins.
Taxi gets the fast Ricci. Ricci know me though.
He's probably fishing for cons and to disarm other people's hands right now.
Right.
And then there's also the patented Ura 3 special technique.
He was on that team in the team tournament, so he might still have some of those powers. That's a good draw. Ashina folding here.
Yeah, Ashina still has time to make up a deficit that he has for Konata right now.
Yeah.
So.
Very little incentive to push too hard here, though. You're okay
Yep.
with Taxi Tsumoing here on your rival's dealership.
Exactly.
Oh. Thankfully can use that pair. See if Konata can Mawash around into Tenpai. Nope. Tsumo. No Ura, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think that helps Ashina most of all. Well, Yukitora has a monster hand. Okay. This is gonna get spicy.
Wow.
It could even potentially be Honisu in some variants. It's not impossible. That would be monster. Like, yeah,
I don't think you
something
need
like
to. You don't necessarily need to force it here, though, right?
Right. I think taking the 39 puts you just 100 below Ashina. So as long as Yukitora finishes ahead of Ashina and wins a few more points, she'll be.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Drop the
this is
third
what I was
Dora
saying.
and takes the Tenpai. That's monster.
I was wondering if you can greed for the Honitsu and get a Hanemon there, but I think that's probably too much.
Yeah, I think that's a little bit ambitious, especially when you already have so much value, and that's already going to cement your position here, especially if you sumo.
Yeah.
But Ash keeps drawing the tiles that Yukitora needs.
The 7th is looking a little bit sus there.
Yeah,
if, for example, like he draws into Tsuken.
Oh no! Doesn't suspect the Tenpai. Gets Dora bombed.
Yeah, okay, this changes everything. So now both Kanata and Yukitora have a really good shot at first place, and Ashina desperately needs to make up ground. Does this... It puts him below Taxi, even. So Taxi could potentially play spoiler Tashi, you know?
Yeah, that was just a monster hand. Just fast Dora 3 tempo after one
Yep.
call. You didn't even. Yeah, I think you had to be a little bit suspicious with those early like middle tile drops.
I think
But
so, but at the same time, I don't think you could predict the value.
right,
8K for that seems a bit like a hefty
yeah,
chunk.
Dora Anko. That's kind of just a tough beat.
Especially when the door is one pin. You don't really expect that.
Mm-hmm. Well, Ashina does still have a dealer turn left, so still has an opportunity to come back here.
Yeah, definitely. All he has to do is overtake Yuki Toras, and there's 3 rounds left.
Mm-hmm.
Um, this is kind of Taxi's like swan song. If he doesn't do anything here, it's over
All
for
right,
him.
I'll swap to that perspective. Give him flow. So is this San Anko or just dealer continuation?
This is Suanko.
Su Anko? Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, that's what I'm calling.
All right, let's see it. No, it's Sanshoku, maybe, or just
Yeah, it looks like Sanshoku.
That's I don't know how I feel about that. That's kind of limiting your options here, and not necessarily improving your speed. Hmm. Oh no! And now you got to fight this Suji trap.
Well, you have 3 8 pins and you're never dropping them, right? So this might
You
be good for the
might,
other players.
you might drop
Oh,
them.
Konata is ridiculously close to Senpai too. This is really hard for Konata, but I think you have to fight this because he still needs points to overtake Yuki Tora.
Right. And your shapes are so good.
There's
Well, yeah, you don't have that much room to fold, and you have really good shapes. If Taxi tries to force the Chanta, okay, thankfully does not.
so now he has to push 2 Suji, or he can Mawashi around the 2 pin, but then his hand is a lot slower. Looks like he's going to Mawashi.
Well, as long as Taxi does not drop these 8 pin, people may have a lot of time, but we do still have one of them left.
Yeah. So Konata gets really lucky at 3 so draw, and now his hand springs back to life. Just needs to draw. Cuts the 5 pin
That's the
there.
5. That's interesting.
Yeah, that is
Wow.
a cut.
Taxi gets the Sanshoku.
Off of Ashina too. Honestly,
That was
that's
a
probably good for Ashina that he didn't allow Kenyan to win their hand and progress the round. So
right.
there's still 3 rounds left.
I didn't believe in the Sanshoku, but Taxi did.
Yeah, paid off.
I thought that was like a very distant dream, and you like forwent all value for this slightly more callable hand.
Yeah, I think it was a little bit quicker than his other outs just because you can't call. But he still has to make up a ton of ground if he wants a chance of getting first. So
Well, once again, we have this Suanko looking shape. Let's go.
yeah, I mean, what is 3 Shantan from it? The only neck is like the 5 so,
Yeah.
but no one's holding on to the last one right now, so we might draw into it.
Yukitora might be crashing some parties here, though.
But here we go. Ryan Shantan? I don't know.
Oh,
That
is this
8 pin
gonna be?
is really unfortunate.
Is this Honroto over there?
I don't think Yukitori is aiming for that, but could be. Alright,
At
Taxi
the
has a kind of difficult decision here. If you're thinking about what gives you the best chance to win the tournament, like
it's Sananko, right? I mean, it's Suanko,
yeah,
but
Suanko might be the play here,
even like a Sananko Dora 2, I mean, I think this could still be a lot of other things that are great. You know, Sananko, Ipeko,
right.
Dora 2,
Yeah.
and you know that block of tiles there can become anything, and you can just drop one of your Ankos to form your pair.
You'll have to see how Taxi plays it.
Yeah, I don't think you need to force Suanko here. Oh,
Now, is Beachan going to reach his... Oh, he does. Alright, this could be the hand that... even if he wins this hand, he still needs a bit more points, but this could definitely be one of the hands that keeps Beachan in the Hanchan.
Dora are likely dead though, so actually all of Beachan's tiles are dead. And Taxi's not in a position to fold, so
It's true.
this might actually be bad for Konata if other people reach Tempa. But
I think the other
Yuki,
people are probably respecting. It looks
Yukitora
like
and Ash likely,
Yukitora
yeah.
folded. Yeah. Oh, and now Formon's Nakasuji. So there's potential that it drops if Yukitora runs out of safe tiles.
That's true. Might even see it here. That's a little bit different.
Ashina has 6 pin and 9 pins, yeah. 9 pin safe, okay.
Alright. They bought a lot of time with that.
Now the question is, can Taxi hit Tenpai?
Taxi just needs Tempa, I know.
Yeah, but
Missed the
he only
opportunity to
has
call
2
7,
draws
so
left. He
yeah.
has the cheat potential, and then he has his end draw.
Ooh.
Oh, he doesn't get it.
That is tragic.
Okay, so I calculated the point differential between Konata and Yukitora, and it's 415. So he needs a 40,000 difference, and there's 2 rounds left, so he needs like 2 Hanuman, like the Hanuman direct and a Manga direct would do it.
Otherwise, Yukitora still takes first.
Oh wait,
Double reach!
This is double reachy, but is he gonna? Oh, he does take it. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
See, this is a case where I would be like, man, do you want to like reach for Sanshaku here? Because a Moncon sumo, it's good, but then you still need to make up like 30k points in all lost.
Yeah, I mean it's still double reachy Tanyo.
Right.
So,
but it could have also been like reach sumo Pinfutanya Sanshaku.
the much better weight.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's tough. It's kind of like, sacrificing one Han to shoot for, 2 or 3 more.
Right. I'm just thinking about what gives him like the highest potential to win the tournament because, as you mentioned, like you were playing for first place here.
Right. I think that's a
Formon
tough.
isn't exactly a weight you can like count on directing Yukitora with, so then maybe just waiting for an upgrade is better. I don't know.
I think that's a tough call. I think with the Sanshoku shapes, I'm inclined to agree with you there. Like there's a lot of huge upgrade potential that could give you +2, even though the initiative reaches. It's hard to turn down.
Oh wait, sorry. So 415 was without the UMA, so with the UMA it would be 265, which makes a lot more sense.
Oh no, disaster. This makes Formon the Nakasuji.
Formon is the Nakasuji, but Yukitora is 7 months safe, so not likely that she deals in.
5-8 so is safe to the original reach.
See, there's 4. It's a very good weight. There's 3 wall.
Yeah. This could be
Versus
really
Formon, there's
bad.
only
This
2
could be a
wall.
first to third flip. Sumo. No Ura, unfortunately.
That's still really big. Doesn't that put him in 2nd place? So he should be leading the Hanchan overall.
Yeah, that was a lot in the pot. Not quite second place, but much closer to his goal of just get first. Or just be above Yukitora.
Yeah, above Yukitora.
Right.
So it's a real tight
Konata,
race now.
Bicha needs a much bigger lead and doesn't have a dealer turn left, so he's got to start dreaming a lot bigger.
Yeah. I think Manga Sumo is enough with these points. maybe he needs a little bit more than that. It's a weird calculation with the Uma or
Yeah,
the
it's
Pomba.
this is actually it is really hard to figure out your exact conditions here. And it didn't seem like they took that much time in between games, so it'll be interesting to see how closely the players are paying attention to the overall scores. Oh, that is a Sanchoku. Look for Yukitori.
This might be the hand that wins her the tournament.
This is gonna be a close fight. Disarms Dora, drops Dora early, but the rest are nowhere to be seen.
So yeah, I need to
And
do the point calculation for real this time.
oh, decides to try to improve the value. Yeah, I like this. Konano does not take the tempo, recognizing that he needs more. But what is your? I mean, I feel like you have to get. I guess you're just fishing for the Tanya here then.
Yeah, I think
That
so.
could have been like Dora Tonki.
Konata needs a manga on Sumo and a manga on Sumo. I think that'll be enough. Because in these current positions, he just needs a 25k lead over both Ashina and Yukitoro.
Ash with
And
the
he has a
Atsuzuka.
yeah, should be enough.
Hmm. Ash trying desperately to accelerate here, but Evil Taxi perhaps fishing for Ryuiso? No, just Tenpai.
Is Taxi going to he takes the Tenpai?
Oh,
Ashina decides to fight it. And seven so is there's two walls, so it's a good way. The one set might drop.
it's
Oh.
this is kind of like a party crashing Ricci. Like Taxi is not
Yeah.
really going to change their position.
Oh, Taxi's gonna play spoiler here. Your guitar is dropping one so for sure.
Oh,
Yeah, that's crazy.
that's unfortunate for Yukitora.
Some would say bad mannered. I say fuck it.
No, I,
Yeah,
I think this is just like, all right. Well, let me just take what I can get.
yeah, I think so.
This is, yeah. I mean,
Right.
I don't
That
fault.
puts Ashina in first place currently. So if he's able to win this hand, he will win the finals. Konata needs a Paimon Sumo,
Yep,
and then
Ash absolutely recognizes it.
yeah,
Just needs to cut off Yukitora's dealership here for the.
Yukitora's hand is also relatively quick, so it's pretty tight. And also, Taxi could just win a hand and be like, "Oh, I'm done here.
I played some mahjong tonight,
My
and
work
I'm
here is done."
puts on the sunglasses. Ooh,
Yeah,
that's a great.
Ashina is Ishantan. So
Yukitora fills in the tough Kanchan and might even have Sanshoku here.
yeah, if Taxi drops three, so here is like the ultimate bro. No, he drops eight, so but I feel like three so's coming.
Yukitora just doesn't call it, trying to stay closed. I think I might have called that just for the tempa, or just to
It's
get
hard to say.
not tempai but like Tanya shapes. I guess yeah, that's a little tough.
Yeah, it's hard to say how much quicker the door makes your hand, given you had that 8-9 silicon shot or penchant. Does drop the
I was wrong. Just draw it.
Alright, so con 3 pin, there's one left in the wall, and Taxi will likely drop it.
Oh no, the Dora missed backfire. But maybe that makes 3-pin more likely to drop?
Yeah, it might drop out of Yukitori's hand too now. If she draws 4-pin, it's over. Yeah, is she gonna drop 8-pin, 6-pin? That would be... And just lock in the Sanjaku? She drops 2, so...
Maybe not wanting to drop around that Tadash Dora.
Perhaps. But that also slows down her shape.
Konoda gets an Anko, also holding a 3-pin.
Alright, Fury 10 on the 141, but
Oh no.
not Senpai yet. 7-pin, is she gonna cheat this?
Yeah, I think you have to just to get a better shape.
It's 2900, but that wouldn't... So Tsuma would put you in first place.
I mean, you just want any win.
There's
You want to.
very Nami, so...
You need to disarm this Tenpai threat.
Yeah.
I like that call.
And she can play around the 3-pin, but I didn't think...
Ooh, pivotal.
Oh.
That's
Alright.
huge. We have a match.
Yep. So I think Ashiana is still slightly... it still slightly favors Ashiana, because right now the difference is 168. 15 from the Uma, 150 from the Uma, 1800.
Right.
And Yukitori's up 900 points. So if Taxi wins like a rando hand off of each end, then Ashiana would still be in first. Yukitori still needs to win a hand, but yeah.
Is that true even with like a second, third Uma swing? With the 5k difference?
Oh, right, it's the second, third. Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
so Yukitori just has to be above.
I think
Sorry.
Yukitora is up here with
Yeah.
that very specific Uma difference. This is
Instead
wild.
of 20, it's 50. Yeah, that's right.
But a bad sumo with Yukitora as dealer might sink her back down. This is
Dude, this is hilarious because Kanata cannot sumo his Baimon because it would put Ashiyuna ahead.
and Konata, yeah.
Yeah, the Kanata he would need 40,000, but I mean, if he gets Itsu on Itsu, like he's probably gonna take it, right?
But Konata needs a lot more value too, right? Like at least Hanemon here.
Well, he has at least Hanemon, right? He has Itsu on Itsu potential. It's just that if he sumos, then yeah, it's lights up.
That's a pretty awkward position.
If he directs Ashiyuno plus Son Baimon, it's okay.
Okay.
Yeah, so like Itsu Honitsu, Doublemon,
this is
3, like
this is a really tough like final hand condition. Like I think my brain would start hurting trying to figure out like what exactly I can or can't do here. Whoa, party crashing?
okay, so if he sumos, that's enough to ruin Yukitori's day.
Any sumo? Or
yeah, any sumo. Wait, is he? Oh, Kanata decides to fold. The coward.
Folds? Hmm. Sumo on the Dora. Yeah, that would be pretty fatal.
You know, there's one left. Also, I don't know if Yukitora knows that Ashina is folding, because she could declare no 10 and that would be fine. But wait, she cannot declare no 10 because Taxi would get Tenpai payments and that would put him in second place, which would mean the differential would be 15.
Oh my! Are you kidding me? No, that's
yeah. Wait, does she know she can't declare no 10? Oh my god.
I guess the question is just, do the players, like, how closely the players are keeping track of this? This is
Yeah, no,
the
I think
fact
what's
that
gonna happen,
placement.
Hitori's gonna declare Newton. She's gonna be really confused when she gets
Oh my gosh,
when
this is gonna be some
Ashina
calculator
wins.
brain game.
I blame our rules being a little bit hard, but
I
everyone knows.
agree. I'm not a big fan of 1025.
Like everyone knows it's 1025 going into it. So like if you did your calcs, you like eat your Wheaties. Yeah.
As long as you have the spreadsheet out, then
Yeah.
this is a good example of why it's very important to have that in mind. You know, like, you really have to
Yeah.
go into this final game knowing exactly what you can or can't do. It changes your gameplay so much.
You know, there's also the chance that I screwed up the calc, so there'll be suspense no matter what.
Yeah. I'm not even looking at the score. I like the suspense. I'll find out after the fact. Oliver actually washing to Tempai almost here.
Yeah, Tempire and I didn't think about
No
it.
10.
It's
Double
like
no 10.
double no 10 means Oliver is probably the champion.
Did Kenyan know that? Was this a mistake? Oh, wow. Yeah, changing it. Oh no, the double no 10.
Yeah, because
Swapping it
Taxi
from
goes to
second to
second
third to
place
third
after
to
that.
fourth.
Yeah, so the
Actually,
differential is 159 and she needed 168. So
oh my. That changed 3 placements actually. I'm going to switch the scores. And the difference between first, second, third was less than
oh wait, I didn't
10,000
realize
swing.
Beachin was that close. Huh.
So Beechen took first there, and his 2 direct opponents were third and fourth with that no 10 swing.
Oh right, yeah.
So,
I completely forgot about that.
so if Beechen had managed to keep Tempai there without dealing in, that also would have given Beechen the win with the 3,000 point swing.
Yeah, I don't think you did the calculations. I mean, to be fair, I didn't either. So
I didn't, but
I was not expecting Taxi to randomly bump his way into second.
that's a. I would be pretty satisfied in a fourth place position, kind of affecting the game that much. But some people might consider that bad mannered.
Yeah, I think it's fine. I mean, it makes the game harder for the other players for sure.
Right. I mean, that's pretty wild. Like, considering, like, do you, if the whether or not the players were factoring in the fact that, changing placements was actually a 5K point swing.
Right,
I actually
yeah.
kind of want to get Oliver in. Congratulations to Oliver for an interview. Let me see
Sure.
if I can pull him in here. Well, congratulations to Oliver or Ash for clinching the finals by a hair's width, possibly doing some intense calculations.
Yo, congratulations.
Hello,
Hello, thank you.
congratulations on that calculator brain game. Were you computing the points in that last hand?
Yes, I knew dropping to fourth would actually shrink the UMA gap, and that
Wow.
would be enough for me to win because the gap between me and Yukitora was not enough.
Yeah, the question is, did Yuki Tora know that?
Did you think that everyone else was hard folding? Because Beechen also had the condition of if Beechen kept Tempai, Beechen would have taken first after you dropped to third, fourth.
Yeah, I think at that point, I don't think Bichan realized that he could win if he takes Tempai there, and he's holding a lot of dangerous tiles.
Right, but did you realize that it was possible that Beachin could overtake you guys if he held Tempai?
Yes, I think Yeah, there's only a couple situations where I lose, and that's if Bichan is tenpai and or if I deal it. I think any other sumo or even Ron maybe will be enough for me to win.
Yeah, so the conditions were, I think, if Kinyan is Tenpai or Bichan is Tenpai.
Well, if Kenyan is tenpai, then we just go to another round, and then
Oh, right,
we'll
true.
see what happens then.
Yeah, that makes
Yeah.
sense.
So kind of playing for the, I guess, the best winning, or I guess the least of the losing outcomes, because you definitely cannot deal in, and you know other people are equally kind of wary of that outcome.
Yeah, you know if Taxi Sumos, then you're good to go. So you can also rely on your boy.
Yeah, so seeing that Ricci was actually pretty good for me, I think.
Yeah, Taxi was kind of party crashing, and it worked a little bit in your favor, or the pressure it created on the table.
Yeah, first what did you think when the one so built in Kinyan into Taxi's Ricci?
That put me in a pretty good situation because it put, I believe, Kenyan to fourth at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I was in like second or third, I don't remember exactly. But yeah, that was a good situation for me because I think everybody had a long ways to go to try to pass me at that point. And, yeah. I think dealing into that Mongon on my side was kind of bad.
Oh yeah, the 7 so deal in into the Dora 3, but that felt kind of unavoidable, right?
There was not much information there.
I was holding one Dora, so I was not expecting somebody else to hold the other three.
Yeah,
Right, it's pretty unlikely they have the other 3.
that fast and after just one call. The early discards were a little bit weird, but I mean, it's hard to expect that value.
Yeah, what do you think was do you think it was all just the final Hanchan, or like was there a specific point that you think made your finals allowed you to get first? Like any memorable plays you made?
I think the only memorable play I made was like chasing Arichi, trying to get like a Hanuman, a dealer Hanuman, but I didn't actually win that one. I don't think there was any other like particularly standout moments in like in these matches. There was just kind of a grind.
The rest was just business as usual.
Yeah, just making sure you know exactly how many points you need.
Yeah, as we found out, it's a very important skill in Mahjong.
Yeah, pretty good example of why you need to keep your win conditions very clear going into the last game. But certainly the highlight of that series for me was Konata's Rinshan Dora 3.
Yep, that was basically like Urasong.
That was the dream comeback shot that almost gave him the win, especially going into that fourth game up.
Yeah, that game, or the final scores ended up being way closer than I had expected.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
You rarely see such a close spread going into a 4 Hanchan series. Well, very exciting set of games. Very well played on your part. Let's see. I think the only other hand, there was like one hand where you chose to Dama and you got like a very low value hand. What might have been like Richi, Ipatsu, Hatsu.
It was on the 7-man run when you had the Dama Sananka, and you chose to Dama, and then your Sumacha Kinyan decided to Richi.
Yeah, because I I'm not sure entirely positive that like reaching there will actually push anybody to fold. Like if I sumo, it's already
you were
Mongon.
already up there, so. All right, well, very well played to all the finalists this time. Unfortunate for Evil Taxi that just didn't had a lot of, I feel like, unfortunate deal-ins in positions where he had to push. Just never got a shot.
Hey man, he got to play spoiler. He got his fun.
Yeah, that made such a huge impact in the last game. So, very exciting matches, and congratulations and well done on keeping very close track of the score differences and the specific win conditions. So, congratulations on being the the last of this series of online PML League finals. So well done, and I think you are still like mostly the crowning champions of almost all of the other ones as well. So certainly defending your title.
Yes, this is the last season that I had not yet collected, so I now have all 4 seasons.
Ooh.
That's spicy.
All right. Well, I think we'll be closing it off there. I guess one last announcement, I guess, for PML is we have the PML Open coming up in a couple weekends. So this is an in-person tournament in the Berkeley location. Definitely check it out or tune in while it's going on, or if you are still available. I don't remember if signups are still available, but it should be a lot of fun mahjong with a lot of very strong players coming from, even out of state. So it should be a good set of games there. Have anything else to add?
Oh, nothing on my end. Yeah, PML Open should be a blast. Make sure to come.
Yep.
And Ash, you'll be there too, right?
I will, yes.
Yeah, so you can compete against the champion of all 4 seasons.
Yeah.
Is there like a better title we can give? Like the calendar Grand Slam is what you call it in tennis, right?
Yeah, it's got to be some kind of Grand Slam or
Yeah, the winner of like the Corona Grand Slam.
Coronia Grand Slam.
The Corona Grand Slam.
All right. Well, we're signing off here. Thanks for an exciting set of games, and congratulations again. Have a good night, everyone.
All right, peace out.